Each year, when we celebrate Thanksgiving, the prevailing story that is the motivational myth is the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock in 1621 and their survival with the assistance of local Native Americans and then feasting with them at harvest time. It is a good story and a real story, but in fact it is not the original Thanksgiving story that should be told each year at this time, except that those who write history define history. There is a far more powerful story of a similar kind that took place 8 years earlier, right here in Lower Manhattan, that should be the defining Thanksgiving story. It is about Dutch explorers and the Lenape Nation, the native tribe which ruled over Manhattan Island and the surrounding region for generations before Europeans arrived. Before November 1613, no Europeans had ever set foot on Manhattan Island. In November 1613, Dutch Captain Adrian Block and his crew on their ship, the Tiger, entered New York Harbor, moored their boat near the site of the World Trade Center, and came and explored what is now Lower Manhattan. While away from their ship, a fire consumed the ship and all it held. Block and his crew were all alone on a faraway island with winter approaching and no way home and no assistance. They did survive the winter, building huts at what is today Broadway and Exchange Place, and the following spring miraculously built a new ship and sailed on, eventually returning to the Netherlands on this ship, the Onrust. There is no way any of this could have happened. These Europeans would have perished in Lower Manhattan and been forgotten by history except for the assistance of the Lenape. This is the incredible story of Native American and European cooperation that far exceeds the story of Plymouth Rock and 8 years earlier than that Thanksgiving myth. The Lenape were rewarded years later, being removed from Manhattan Island to make way for European expansion. Then there is a remarkable second part to this Thanksgiving story that Plymouth Rock cannot compete with in any way. 176 years later, in 1789, very near where Block and his men today, which is Broadway and Exchange Place, built huts to survive the winter of 1613 with the assistance of the Lenape. President Washington declared the very first Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 26, 1789, from his office and residence in Lower Manhattan, the presidential mansion at 39 Broadway, which is almost exactly at the same location of Broadway and Exchange Place. He then prayed at St. Paul's Chapel on Broadway, the same St. Paul's Chapel that exists today, that first Thanksgiving Day, for America's blessings, and so should we. And most of all, we should remember and appreciate the Lenape, who have refused to die, who are surviving, and as you see in this Lenape powwow, proud people who we all should fully appreciate at Thanksgiving and every single day of the year. Happy Thanksgiving. Watch, enjoy, and appreciate the Lenape Nation.